Today, I'm going to show you how to turn a $5 chuck steak into something that tastes like it came off the menu at a $60 steakhouse. And the only ingredient you need is a white powder that has been sitting in Asian grocery stores for 1,000 years. Stick with me through this video because the exact 4-step method is coming. This ingredient costs under $1 per use. And once you understand what is actually happening inside that steak while it sits in your fridge, you will never pay restaurant prices for dry-aged beef again. I am vegan, so I am not the one eating this, but my neighbor has been doing this in his fridge for the past 6 months, and I have been completely fascinated by the science behind it. He says his family cannot tell the difference between his results and the steaks that used to cost him $100 on special occasions. He stopped buying expensive cuts almost entirely. I'm going to explain exactly why it works and exactly how to do it. The problem with great steak is not the cut, it is time. A commercially dry-aged steak, the kind that costs $60 to $100 at a premium butcher, has been hanging in a controlled cold room for 21 to 45 days. During that window, the meat's own natural enzymes slowly dismantle the protein structures inside the muscle fibers. Tough connective tissue loosens. Moisture evaporates from the surface, concentrating the remaining flavor compounds. Amino acids accumulate, producing intense, savory depth that a fresh steak simply does not have. That is the complete mechanism behind what you are paying for. The beef itself is often the same grade and cut as what is sitting in your grocery store for $6 a pound. The difference is 45 days of time. And a specific mold changes the math on that entirely. The mold is called Aspergillus oryzae. If you have eaten soy sauce, miso, sake, or miso soup this month, you have already consumed its products. Japanese brewers and fermenters have been cultivating this mold on rice for over 1,000 years. The cultured rice it produces is called koji. It is not exotic or risky. It is one of the most thoroughly studied fermentation agents in food history, fully classified as safe for human consumption by every major regulatory body. Japan has maintained official government strain libraries for it since the Meiji period. Michelin-starred chefs in New York, London, and Tokyo began putting koji-aged beef on menus around 2015 and pricing it accordingly. Home cooks in Japan have been doing the same thing in their refrigerators for generations. The ingredient is identical, the price is not. Aspergillus oryzae produces 3 families of enzymes when it grows on grain, and each one attacks a different component of the meat at the same time. Proteases break proteins down into free amino acids, including glutamate, the compound responsible for umami, the deep savory quality that separates excellent steak from merely average steak. The same glutamate that develops over years in fermented soy sauce. Amylases break surface carbohydrates into simple sugars, which means when the steak finally hits the pan, the Maillard reaction, the browning that creates crust, happens faster and more completely than on any untreated steak of the same grade. You get a dark, deeply caramelized exterior on a $5 flat iron that performs like something seared in a professional kitchen. Lipases break fats into volatile fatty acids that carry flavor further into the meat's interior. 3 enzyme families, 48 hours. The outcome a steakhouse achieves in 30 to 45 days. A bag of dried koji rice at an Asian grocery store costs between $10 and $15 and produces enough flour for 15 to 20 steaks, under $1 per transformation. A commercially dry-aged New York strip at a premium butcher runs $45 to $70 per pound. A choice grade chuck steak or flat iron runs $5 to $8. The cut matters less than people assume. The same protease activity that tenderizes a ribeye does the same work on a tougher, cheaper muscle. After 48 hours of enzyme activity, the texture gap between grades narrows in a way that has to be experienced to be believed. Stick with me. The method is 4 steps, and one of them in the middle determines whether the batch comes out perfect or ends up in the trash, and it is not the step you would guess. Here is the method exactly as my neighbor does it. The best cuts to start with are flat iron, chuck eye, or sirloin, not because ribeye does not work, but because starting with a cut that normally needs help makes the transformation immediately obvious. Thickness matters too. Stay between 3/4 of an inch and 1 1/4 inches. Thinner cuts lose too much moisture in 48 hours. Thicker cuts need the full 72-hour window, which is the outer limit before texture changes start to work against you. Take the dried koji rice and blend it in a food processor or a dedicated coffee grinder until it becomes a fine white powder. Koji flour. Fine powder means maximum surface contact, maximum enzyme coverage across every millimeter. Pat the steak completely dry with paper towels before you touch the flour. Any surface moisture dilutes the enzyme concentration and slows the entire process. Coat every surface generously, top, bottom, all 4 edges, pressing the flour lightly so it adheres in a uniform, even layer. Then place the coated steak on a wire rack set over a sheet pan and put it uncovered in the refrigerator for 48 hours. Uncovered is not optional. Air circulation is required. Wrapping the steak in plastic traps moisture and prevents the surface desiccation that concentrates flavor. Open shelf, wire rack, no cover, 48 hours. After 48 hours, pull the steak out. It will look gray and faintly fuzzy, which looks alarming and means everything is working correctly. Use the back of a spoon or a knife to scrape the koji crust completely off the surface. Rinse under cold water, then pat completely dry again. The raw meat will feel noticeably different than it did going in. Firmer, more structured, almost springy. You can feel what the enzymes have already done before it ever hits the heat. Here is the step. Almost everyone gets wrong the first time. Cook this steak at a lower temperature than you normally would. The amylase enzymes have converted surface carbohydrates into simple sugars. And simple sugars caramelize and char significantly faster than an untreated surface. Medium-high instead of high. Cast iron, preheated with a high smoke point oil. The crust forms in under 2 minutes per side on a 1-inch steak. Watch it closely. The window between a perfect crust and a burnt exterior is tighter than anything you have cooked before. Rest it 5 minutes before cutting. The interior will be tender in a way no marinade or tenderizing mallet produces, because those methods break surface fibers from the outside bluntly and unevenly. This worked from within, at the molecular level, across the entire surface simultaneously. One more thing. There is a form of this called Shio Koji. Koji rice fermented together with salt and water into a thick, spreadable paste. Shio Koji is sold pre-made at most Asian grocery stores for around $5 a jar. Apply it the same way. Coat every surface, wire rack, fridge, 48 hours, rinse, then cook at medium-high with the same caution about the crust. The salt in the paste simultaneously brines the meat while the enzymes work, drawing moisture out and then pulling it back into the fibers during the fridge rest. Shio Koji on a flat iron for 48 hours is the version my neighbor makes most often now. No blending required, straight from the jar, and he tells me the texture and flavor from a $5 cut are at this point indistinguishable from anything he used to spend $60 on. One jar does 8 to 10 steaks. This technique has been in Japanese home kitchens for generations. Western steakhouses discovered it around 2015 and began marketing koji-aged beef at premium prices. The mold, the rice, the enzyme science, none of it changed. Only who was charging for it. The bag costs $12, the steak costs $5. At 48 hours in your fridge converts both of those numbers into something that used to cost $60. Thanks for watching. Share this one with someone who grills, and I will see you in the next one.